Hello there, my name is Brian Taylor and I am on AMC Small Town Security, and I do believe that I've got some questions here. I'm going to be interviewing myself. It's a little crazy around here, so there's nobody else here but me today. But looks like I'm going to be answering 7 questions known as the same 7. And the first question here is, in 10 words or less, tell us what makes you so freaking awesome. And don't be modest, let her rip. In 10 words or less, I guess I enjoy masticating 35 times after each bite. Pretty sure that's under 10. I just always like to enjoy my food, so that's what I enjoy doing. Question 2. Did you or do you currently have an imaginary friend or friends? If so, tell us a little about him, her, it, or them. Never really had an imaginary friend growing up. I was always too busy interacting with real people. But when I was a little kid, I did pretend that I was married to Wonder Woman, the Linda Carter Wonder Woman from the TV show. I always thought she was pretty dang fine. And you can go Google pictures of Linda Carter. Back in the day, she was cat's meow. Okay, number 3. Do you believe in ghosts? Yeah, I believe in ghosts. I think I've never seen a ghost scenario per se, but I don't know. I think there really are some spooky things that happen. I think a lot of ghost sightings that go on and what people see. It's on these silly TV shows with the green camera. These night vision cameras where they're trying to do paranormal investigations. A lot of that is just it's just gravity. That's what it is. There's just things fall down. It's the earth knocking shit over, whether it's something that's eventually going to fall down, whether it's a broomstick or some picture on the wall. It just probably wasn't nailed in good. Things like that. But I do believe that there are some spooky apparitions that, I don't know, maybe they died a certain way in a certain room, or maybe they did something in life and they're being cursed. I don't know. But I've never been involved in a ghostly encounter. I've heard some weird things. But it was probably my neighbor's cat or something. So I believe in it. I just think a lot of the stuff that people tell stories on is a lot of misunderstanding. So let's see, what's next? Number 4. What one thing scares the ever-loving crap out of you more than anything else in the whole wide world? I guess the main thing is people in general, society, when the crap hits the fan. And hopefully it won't hit the fan during my lifetime, but this whole notion of, you just hear all these stories, and I don't know, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but I do keep my ears to the wall or to the floor, however that saying is, about conspiracies. This whole thing regarding this financial meltdown that we're going to have. There's people that have worked for the Federal Reserve. They can be asked random questions, simple questions, and they can't even give you a damn straight answer. It's all a bunch of fluff, I think, with how the stock market is organized and how it runs, and just all the corruption that's involved, and this whole notion that our money is backed by gold, allegedly. We don't know where in the hell it's at. They say it's at Fort Knox. They say it's not. That's a decoy. All that sort of stuff. And if we have this financial breakdown, I mean, look at the Romans. They had a good thing going, and the Egyptians, and they finally just crumbled. Their dynasty and their reign on world and society. So, it could very easily happen to us, and it's just scary, just how things are done today. And if we have this financial crash, then mankind is just going to go, it'll go bonkers. It's just with this whole mob mentality, with just attacking someone when everybody gets selfish, especially if the banking system collapses. There's no money. How are people going to survive? I mean, you can't rob a bank, right, if the money's no good. So what are you going to do? You're going to rob food, supplies, things like that from your neighbor, because it's everybody for themselves. And that's what scares me. I've probably gone off on a weird tangent here, but that's what scares me, because that could happen. And you think you know your neighbor, or you think your neighbor's cool and all that, but banking system collapses, you got a few extra can of Spam and soup and all that, and your neighbor doesn't. He's going to want to borrow some, or somebody from out of town is going to pass through, steal your car because they're out of gas. I mean, it's that whole, it's scary. Love thy neighbor goes out the window when the whole system crashes. So that's what scares me, and I hope that never happens. But a lot of smart people that are in the banking institution, financial institutions, they're a little concerned, and that's what scares me more than anything. Number 5, sunrise, sunset, new moon, or full moon. And no, I'm not referring to any teen vampire romance films. For me, it's got to be a full moon. There's just something magical and special about seeing a full moon. And we get one every month practically. And every time we see it, it's just so cool. And sometimes it's huge, it's larger than normal, or it's hiding behind some clouds, or it just pops up behind a mountain. And it's routine. We see a full moon more than we do a rainbow, and how people go nuts over rainbows more than a full moon. And to me, a full moon is it's so cool to see. There's just something about being outside when the moon's full. It's just the outside is lit up a certain way. It just gives you this really cool feeling. And doesn't matter how old you are or where you're at, there's just something neat about seeing a full moon. It never gets old, and I'll really enjoy that. Oh boy, let's see what's next here. Number 6, if you had to live the rest of your life inside one book or movie, what would it be and why? This is a really cool question. I would have to say this is an easy question to answer, and it's a tough one. It's easy because I'm thinking Star Wars instantly. But then the more I think about it, I think of other movies. Inception would be pretty cool. I mean, to be in a world where you've got technology to jump inside your dreams while you're sleeping. That's pretty cool to be involved in something like that. But then you want to stay in that dream world. You wouldn't want to wake up. That just that becomes too confusing. So I'd rather keep it simple. I'd probably go with Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, more specifically, only because think about it. They just killed the Death Star the second time. Vader's gone, the Emperor's gone, the rebels won, so they're restoring the galaxy, right? They're building up the government again. Just look at all the job opportunities out there. You wouldn't have any trouble at all getting a job. And assuming, going on the basis of this question, that I'd be able to fly a spaceship, this is my answer to a question, so I should be able to fly around in space, right? I should have the know-how. It'd be awesome. You'd have a job in no time, and you'd probably think, well, Brian, the Empire's gone. What about all these out-of-work stormtroopers and stuff? But you got to think the rebellion's got to have a pretty good background check going on. John Smith, who served 3 tours on a Death Star as a stormtrooper, he's not going to get a gig working for the rebellion. Look, he worked for the Empire. Who's going to hire him? So there's going to be a lot of open jobs out there. There's a lot of issues on one side of the galaxy. It's got to be straightened out. So I would do that. I would assume they pay well, so they want to keep the galaxy in good shape. So I'm like, why not? If that, I'd probably do something else out there in space. But just to be able to fly around hyperspace, seeing all these different planets, I think that'd be pretty cool. And plus, I'd be on Endor. I love the forest out there, the California redwoods. That's pretty cool stuff. So that's what I would do. Number 7. It's the zombie apocalypse. The person you love more than anyone, anywhere, ever has been bitten by one of the walking dead. It is inevitable that they will turn into a soulless, flesh-eating monster. What do you do? It's a pretty easy question. Assuming I'm already aware that there's zombies out there and I'm holed up somewhere with my loved one, I'm sure we'd probably have a conversation as what would happen if one of us was bitten by a zombie or a walking dead. But I'd probably have to end their life. I mean, it's a good question. But at the same time, I think it's sort of easy because even though I love that person, what if there's somebody else out there I love? If I just kick this person to the curb and let them go do zombie stuff, they're liable to kill somebody else that I love. And, you got to get rid of that collateral damage. And I think if we all took that initiative during the zombie apocalypse, I don't think the zombie apocalypse would be that bad. You contain it pretty quick. So, I'd hate to do it to my loved one. But, it'd be a quick stab to the head. And I'd move on. We think, oh, it's so cruel, but if there really was a zombie apocalypse, you're living in a different world. All the happiness and kind of sweet stuff that goes on these days, that's all thrown out the window once there's Walking Dead hanging around. So, to me, it's a no-brainer, and if I was bitten, then yeah, I'd want to be put out of my misery. I wouldn't want to kill someone else harmlessly, so that's what I would do. Okay, and here's a little space that's all yours. Do with it what you will. Draw a picture. Tell us about a current project. Favorite daydream, pet peeve, new project, greatest geocache of all time. Write a haiku about unicorns. Recount your Bigfoot sighting. Well, I guess I've never seen Bigfoot, but I was in the mountains not far from here, near the Appalachian Trail, in North Georgia, out past the LJ area. I was with a friend several years ago, and we went out one day doing a little hike, and it was pretty cool. It was in the fall time, and she was pretty big into Bigfoot and all that sort of stuff, which I don't know. I believe that there are Bigfoot creatures out there, but mainly in the Pacific Northwest because that forest is so dense and so thick. There's a lot of area out there that's just never been touched, and I think a creature like that, if what these Bigfoot experts say is that it allegedly can smell a human or some other creature from a very long distance away, so it can run before a human can even get close to it. If that's the case, then yeah, I do believe in Bigfoot. But all these people that believe that Bigfoot hang out in foothills of Kentucky and the mountains of Georgia, I don't know about that. It's possible. I need to see more evidence. To me, the most conclusive evidence is the Bigfoot sightings out there in the Pacific Northwest. But anyways, we were on this trail in the North Georgia mountains, and we were out there for a couple of hours, I guess, and then we were coming back. We went so far, and then we got to the stopping point. We hung out for half an hour or so, then started walking back on the same trail we came in on, and it was probably 45 minutes or an hour since we had walked down that trail. We were coming back, and then all of a sudden the wind was blowing and we got this weird smell. It's a smell that I've never really smelled before. It's almost like a body odor and wet dog sort of smell. Very odd. I've never smelled it. It definitely wasn't a skunk. Could it have been a bear? I've never seen a bear out in the wild, so I don't know what they smell like. But this was real creepy smelling. And of course, nobody had a dog out there on the trail, so we didn't encounter anybody with the dog. And we were like, what is that smell? And of course, she was big into Bigfoot, so she said that was probably a Bigfoot smell. She said that they give off this sort of odor, and that people describe smell just like this. I didn't know. Hell, I don't do any hardcore Bigfoot research, so really weird. It was a really weird smell. I've never smelled anything like it. Animal of any kind. So, was it a Bigfoot? Who knows? Like I said, it was a bit windy, and it was potent. It wasn't there when we walked down the trail, but on the way back, bam, it just hit us. And we could smell it for a good 30, 40 yards or so of walking. I mean, it was pretty intense. It was very strong, almost like it was something was right there. And then it was eventually gone. So, really creepy. I could understand if we were close to a landfill or something like that, but we were out in the middle of the woods, so very bizarre. Did we encounter a Bigfoot? No. Did we see one? No. But we sure did smell something that allegedly could have been a Bigfoot. So that's all I got. So again, I'm Brian Taylor with Small Town Security, hanging out here in the office, about to head out and do a serve or two. So hope you enjoy and have a good day.